Hello, my name is Willie Stevens.
And I'm Brandy Stevens, and welcome to
The Journey of Us.
Welcome to Journey of Us podcast, season 3, episode 3, and we will be discussing gender roles.
Okay, and so, since we're discussing it, let's jump right into it.
Yes.
When we first got married, what did you expect or what did you feel as far as gender roles go?
Okay, so historically, I thought that the woman is in charge of taking care of the kids, keeping the keeper of the home, which is what I was taught. Washing dishes, folding clothes, cooking, everything related to the home. She's responsible for doing it, whether she works or not.
Okay. Well, do you still feel the same way?
I do feel like the woman is still the keeper of the home, but my perspective is a little bit different now.
Okay.
I may not necessarily do the thing, but as long as the thing gets done, so I may outsource and we may have our groceries delivered, which we'll talk about that later. And then, or I may have someone come help me clean the home, so I do feel like it's still something that I am in charge of, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But there's different perspectives. You can outsource.
Yeah. I know when we first got married, I thought that there were certain gender roles because that's all I had seen.
Yes.
The man or either the children take out the trash, wash the dishes, mow the lawn.
Yes.
And then the wife takes care of the house, clean, cook and all of that. And so I thought that growing up that, that was the actual way. Yes. And so, yes, there were some, I guess, preconceived notions that I had concerning gender roles. I know better now because as our lives have, I guess, changed and our careers have taken off, I understand that maybe initially you had more flexibility and I did not. Now it has changed where I have more flexibility than you have. And so I do some of the things that I guess, quote unquote, felt as if they were a woman's work. I wash clothing now. I get groceries now. I wash dishes now. I don't really do too much cooking, but I'm just saying that, it's my perspective has changed because my experiences have changed.
Did it? Okay. Since that has changed. Okay. So let's go back and talk about when do you think that shift occurred for us?
I think it occurred when you started school.
Yeah.
When you went back to cosmetology school, I think that's when things shifted because if I'm not mistaken, I think I had already graduated.
Yeah.
And so I had a little bit more flexibility and I know you were working all day. And then after you get off work at 5 o'clock, 4:30, 5 o'clock, then you're going to class until 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And so this episode is brought to you by the Stevens Injury Law Firm. If you've been injured in an accident, you don't have to handle it alone. The Stevens Injury Law Firm is here to protect your rights and help you get the compensation you deserve. If you've been injured, contact the Stevens Injury Law Firm today. I understood then, I need to step up and help out. Even though I may not like doing these things, I have to step up and help her out because, we're a team. We have to make this thing work. And so I think that's when the shift happened for me.
Yeah, it did. Because I was gone so much.
Yeah.
Monday through Friday, I was gone from 7:30 to 10 o'clock at night. And so you really did step in to kind of help with our son and take care of stuff around the house. Now, how did that make you feel at that time?
Well, I felt we had been married for maybe like 4 or 5 years at that time. I didn't really have a problem with that because I felt that, if anything, I wanted to see you more But I felt as if, this is a part of our process. I didn't compare myself to any other relationships. I didn't compare myself to what I saw growing up because I understood that we're trying to go somewhere that they didn't go. And so it was going to take a shift from us that they did not take. And so I wasn't expecting what I had already seen. I was expecting for us to build something, and I was okay with having to adjust in that way.
Yeah. Did you ever have people say things, or to make you feel like you're less than a man because you are taking on these types of duties? And if so, how did that affect you?
No, I never had that because first of all, I don't take my business.
I knew you were going to say that.
It's not their business to know what goes on in our house. And so I never experienced that. I guess the not feeling confident because another person felt a certain way about what's going on in our house. Because I know that, even when people tell you what's going on in their house, they're not going to tell you everything that's going on. They're going to give you a perspective based on whatever that thing that makes them look the best. And so I never got into that.
Yeah. Just to take us back a little bit from before the shift, I struggled with kind of accepting that type of biblical gender role that I was taught because I don't mind cleaning. I really don't, but I struggled initially with like, why it gotta be my job?
Yeah.
And why is that something that I have to do? And I found myself cleaning every weekend, and I would cook a breakfast on Saturday. You say nowadays, you don't even remember those days, but I remember. And coming home and cooking because I felt like, I'm working out here too, but there came a point where I just needed to accept that this is my role for this particular time.
Yeah.
And this is what I need to do to move the family forward. And understanding that was a big deal for me. It's like, we're a team. So put the us before I.
Yeah.
Whatever that needs to be, because even now, like I get outside and chew with the weeds. And I don't mow the lawn, but
I would say,
and I take out the trash. I do. I have.
Okay. I would say, when I look back, you're saying something about the weeds, but I look back, I generally see women doing that anyway.
My point is that I would do things outside of the home as well.
Yeah. And I will say, even with me now, I don't like mowing the lawn.
Yeah.
I don't know when last time I mowed the lawn, and that is one good thing about, working together towards something. And so we understand, okay, well, we have different things in our careers going. And so we can get some assistance, get some help to do these different things that we may not necessarily enjoy doing.
Yeah.
And so I'm just, grateful that we've reached that point that we can get some assistance doing those things.
This episode is brought to you by Tribute Salon, where we help everyone embrace and enjoy their hair. At Tribute Salon, we specialize in nurturing your natural hair with care and expertise. Schedule your next appointment and experience the Tribute difference. Did you ever feel boxed in by what people thought or what you were supposed to do per se as a man?
Never. Because I just feel as if, who are they to tell me what I'm supposed to be doing?
Yeah.
And then, of course, I don't tell people my business. And so they wouldn't know what I am doing and what I'm not doing. All they know is that I'm coming in and I'm smiling, and they don't know how I get to that point.
Yeah. I think it is important though. And I think it's kind of like an overall theme for us in any topic that we talk about or any part of our marriage. It's like, we just have to do what works for us.
Yes.
And it's so important to do that and not compare our relationship to someone else's relationship, because what works for them may not work in our household because we're different people.
Yeah.
And so I think that with these gender roles per se, no, I feel like I'm not gonna say they shouldn't exist, but I just feel like at some point you just have to get it done together.
Yeah.
And it really don't matter who does it, as long as whatever we're doing moves the family forward.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter that, because we've had seasons, not to go back to the financial thing, but we've had seasons where your income was higher. There have been seasons when my income was higher. But I think that we just really, at the foundation of it, it really don't matter because it's us. And whatever needs to be done, whether it's financially, in the house, cooking, cleaning, sweeping, whatever, it's to move the family forward.
Yeah. And I think that we have, I guess, a upper hand in that, because I do understand that some relationships are not that way.
Yeah.
Sometimes guys, we're a little bit different. We want to feel as if I am the man.
Yeah.
And my woman's supposed to be cooking for me.
Yeah.
My woman's supposed to be bringing me a plate of food, and I'm supposed to be sitting in front of the TV watching television, And so I think we never really had those type of problems because I think the way we were raised was a little bit different. Our experiences were a little bit different. And then, of course, we wanted something that, we understood that we didn't know anybody else that had it. So we knew that there was going to be some shifts that we're going to have to make that they may not have had to make growing up.
Yeah. And I guess for the people that, and I was going to ask you this too about men, and some men may not like that.
Oh, they do.
Like you said, I was going to say that, some men may not want to get the groceries like you do, or wash clothes and fold clothes like you do. So I guess
I'm amazing.
You are. Almost 18 years. I'm here for it. But I just think it goes back to not to compare relationships and do what's going to be best for your relationship. So if you're in a relationship, my unsolicited advice is do what y'all need to do. And so if you're more comfortable or he's more comfortable with the woman cleaning and him taking out the trash, or vice versa, whatever is going to work for y'all, do that. And don't worry about everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Because we have different talents.
Yeah.
And why not display your talents? Because I do know that I have a cousin that he's good. He cooks.
Yeah.
He cleans. He does the interior decorating.
Yeah.
And it was surprising to me to see that.
Yeah.
Because I don't see he's a really masculine guy. So it's not as if he was I've ever seen that from him.
That's out of him.
Yeah, and so it works for him and his wife and his family.
Right.
And so that's what's important, I think, is to make sure that you do whatever that works for you all, and not try to be something that society expects you to be.
Okay. So I remember earlier on, we had a certain way of doing things. And so that's shifted and evolved to what we do today. So how do you think we decide who does what now?
Well, I think with us, it's more so whatever needs to be done, get it done.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily a woman's job or a man's job. It needs to be done for the house, so we're going to get it done.
Yeah.
I'm not one that is a big proponent of this idea of, if you do this, then I do this.
Yeah.
One for one, we're not going to go back and forth, because sometimes you may not have the energy to do something because you work longer hours than me most times.
Yeah.
And so I'm not going to wait and say, okay, well, I cleaned the dishes. I got them out the dishwasher. And now you need to, clean the kitchen. Or
it's your turn.
Yeah. I just don't believe in that. I believe that we are one unit, and if it needs to be done, it has to be done, regardless of who does it.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that?
I do think at one point I had the mindset of almost like a tit for tat. Well, I did it the last time. It's your turn. And I did have that kind of mentality. But as I've grown, I understand, like you said, that We just have to get it done.
Yeah.
And I can't, and I don't think it's healthy in a relationship to hold that and start keeping score.
Yeah. Because that's ultimately what it is. You're keeping score because you want to say that you did more than the other person, or you want to show that the other person is not doing certain things that you feel as if they should be doing, and then you're going to hold it over their head. And so, I don't believe in that either.
I've learned, and you brought that to my attention a few times. It's like, well, I've noticed that if I do this or I do that, or you say you have to go back and forth with me. And so I'm still learning.
Yeah.
I'm still learning, but I don't want it. It's the team. It's us.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
Yeah.
It's about moving us forward, like I said. And it really just does not serve us well in our relationship to kind of go back and forth and keep score.
Yeah. Yeah. Because who wins? Are we actually playing against somebody else? Or are we playing against ourselves?
Right.
And stuff. So, I'm one that likes to win. And so I'm not going to compete with my wife.
That's true. I ain't competing with you either. You're my partner. Same team.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching this episode where we talk about gender roles. Be sure to like and subscribe.
And stay tuned for our next episode where we're going to discuss growing, aging, and still choosing each other.
So we'll see you next time on The Journey of Us.